In this video, I'll be showing you how to make the letter I using a rubber band loom. So I'm using a rainbow loom, but you can use any brand of loom that has the pins in a straight row. I'm only going to be working with one row of pins, so I've removed the other two. But if you have a loom that the pins don't come off, that's fine. You're going to start with the arrows facing away from you, and you will need 19 rubber bands. So I have chosen white and then various shades of pink. And for every band that is placed on, it's going to be doubled. So in order to do that, you want to place it on your hook, twist, put it back on, so that it looks like two bands on your hook. And we're going to start at the end here, and it's just going to go to the next pin up. I'm going to place 8 rubber bands going up the length of the loom. So this was my first one. Now I'm going to switch to my lighter pink. Again, I'm doubling all of the bands. And as I'm placing them on, I'm going to push them down to the bottom of the pin, because we will be adding another layer on top of some of these. And now I'm going to do my 2 lighter pink bands. Now this is the 6th rubber band. So I have 2 more left, and they're going to both be dark pink, or fuchsia is actually the name of this color. And now on this end pin where we just left off, I want to place a cap band. So in order to do this, I'm going to place the band on my hook, twist and put it back on, twist and put it back on, twist and put it back on, so that it is quadrupled. And you can see that there are 4 rubber bands now on this hook. We're going to place it right on the top here. It's going to be tight. You want to stretch it out and get it right on there. And now I'm going to go back to the start. Again, I want the arrows to still be facing away from me. And I'm going to place 2 more rubber bands starting at the end. I'm going to be white. And then on this pin, where I just placed that last band, it will be the 3rd pin in from the end of the loom. I want to place another cap band. And so again, it's going to be quadrupled. And it's going to get placed right on the top. And so now I want to turn my loom around so the arrows are facing towards me, and I'm going to start to loop some of the bands. So at the end here, at the top, you're going to have 4 bands. That's the cap band. You want to put your hook down through, push back on those top 4 bands, grab the bottom 2, hold this cap band in place, and pull the bands out and forward. And then we're going to do this one more time. Grab the 2 bands and move them ahead. And so now I want these bands to come off of the pin and swing around to the right. So I'm going to place my thumb on top of this pin so they don't come off. I'm just going to be removing them from these bottom 2 pins. So I'll put my hook inside and just release these. And then I want these bands to come out and to the right. I want them to come straight out. And now I'm going to go up to the white bands that are on this top layer, and I'm going to do that same thing. I want to put my hook down through, push back on those top 4 bands, Now we have a bottom layer up here, but we're not doing anything to those bands underneath. You're just grabbing the top two bands and moving them ahead. And then on this next pin, again, you're moving these two bands on top forward. I'm going to place my thumb on top of this end pin and release the bands from these two lower pins. And then again, I'm going to slide this out to the right. And now I want to turn my loom around again. So we've made the one side of the top and bottom of the letter I, and now we need to do the other side. So you want to push the bands down on this pin, on the two end pins. And now I'm going to put two more white bands, starting on the end here, and then another one. And now I want to place another cap band. Again, it's going to be on that third pin in from the end of the loom. It's going to be quadrupled. It's going to go right on top here. And now I want to go down to the other end. I'm going to place two more bands, starting on this last pin and going up. And now once again I want to place another cap band on this very end pin where we just left off. Again, it's quadrupled. If you're finding that you're having a hard time quadrupling the bands because it's too tight, you can always just triple the bands. It just won't be as tight looking in the letter when you're done, because they are sometimes tough to get on. And now I'm going to turn my loom around again so the arrows are once again facing me. And now I'm going to loop these two bands. So I'm pushing back on the top four, grabbing the bottom two, pulling them out and moving them ahead, and now onto the next one. And now I'm going to place my thumb on this pin. Once again, I'm going to remove these bottom two bands and slide them out, this time to the left. It's going to make the base of the letter I. And now I need to keep looping the rest of these bands, so I'm going down through all of these upper bands. It's going to be pretty full. You're going to push back on all of the upper bands, just grabbing these bottom two, and you want to bring them up and forward. It will definitely be a little bit tight, and I'm just going to continue up. And now I want to stop here because I have this upper layer that I need to loop first before I continue on. So where we have this cap band, you're going to put your hook down through, push back on those top four bands, you're grabbing the next two bands, we're not doing anything to the bottom at this step, and you want to get them out and ahead, and now the next two. And now I'm going to again place my thumb on the top here. I'm going to release these bands and pull this out to the left. Again, this is the other side of the top part of my letter I. And now I can continue to loop the rest of these bands. So I'm going back to where I left off and just moving these bands ahead. And here's the last one. And now you should have one rubber band left. You're going to take your hook, push it down through, go through all of these bands and push your hook out to the side. Take this rubber band and pull it up through. And now place the other end back on your hook so you have the two bands. And we're going to carefully remove this. It's going to be pretty tight at the top and bottom here. And now what you want to do is, with these two bands you have on your hook, take the end that's closest to your hook and pull it through the other, and then pull tightly. That's going to make a slip knot. And then here is your letter I, and you may have to adjust it a little bit. So you want both sides of the top to be straight out. And you want the middle here to be nice and straight. And then the same thing for the bottom. You want them to be straight out to the sides. And then here is your letter I. And I'll show you another one that I made using blue. So this is my other letter I that I did. You can always leave me comments on YouTube or Facebook, post pictures of your creations to my Facebook page, and please feel free to subscribe to my YouTube channel so you can stay up to date on all of my latest tutorials. You can also find me on Pinterest and Instagram, so please feel free to subscribe to those as well. Thanks for watching.